They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, I hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Tell them to point out who said that they run it, bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. It's not how to tell, that shit for the sale.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarte me consola.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Velocity Ultimate Masters Team Racing League. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards. Joined alongside me in the commentary box is the one, the only, is Mr. VJ himself, Jake Summit. How are you doing, mate?
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm looking forward, buzzing to see our drivers, what are they going to do tonight.
Absolutely, and of course tonight it is round 4 of the championship where we take in the absolutely infamous Spa-Francorchamps, and honestly a track that is a popular favourite here in F1 in real life and in terms of league racing as well. So all these drivers should definitely know this track off by heart, I would imagine.
Yeah, of course. I think for me it's one of the best tracks, if not the best. Obviously it's the longest. But it's a proper racing track in my opinion, so I think all the drivers should love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course it is one of those tracks as well that can throw some changeable conditions out there, which will be interesting to see if anyone is going to fall victim to these changeable conditions, because it is one of those tracks that does tend to throw a few weather conditions into the works. But of course, Spa-Francorchamps, it is 7 kilometers in length, 4.3 miles, 19 corners, 10 to the left and 9 to the right. Of course, there'll be 22 laps awaiting the drivers here tonight. Of course, the C4 soft tyres, C3 mediums and C2 hards coming into play. And of course 2 DRS zones, one down in towards turn 1 the source, and of course one down the Camel Straight as you head into Les Combes. And yeah, I mean, key overtaking opportunities, main one obviously down the DRS straight, down the Camel Straight all the way into Les Combes. And honestly, it's not the only overtaking opportunity that we have around here. There's plenty of opportunities, obviously down in towards Brussels, turn number 8. If you get a good run there, you could be side by side into turn 9. Of course, no name, I believe the corner is called. And of course, Pouhon, a absolutely iconic circuit, a double left-hander in the middle section as you head in towards the Campos section, and of course through Stavolo, and of course we have Blanchemont and the final big overtaking opportunity, the bus stop chicane. But before we go ahead and have a look at what the standings are looking like, let's have a look at what happened last week. 2 weeks ago, for that matter, in Monza, round number 3. So, of course, it was Matteo for ET8 who took victory ahead of Neverlast Racing's Marlon. And, of course, we had Mario Formula 01 for, I believe that is TF10 logo right there. And they managed to take the podium positions. And honestly, it was a very close race between the three of them, and it did come down all the way to the wire. As you can see, 1 second separating the top 3.
Yeah, it's also a huge result for TF10, which finished third and fourth. As a consequence, they have scored the most points, and obviously, as we are now going to see, they are up to fourth position, thanks to that result.
Yeah, of course. Going for the rest of the order, as you mentioned, TF10 Dirk finished fourth. Felix won for X Esports, finishing fifth. A good result there for X Esports. OP with a bit of a lackluster race last time out. Obviously, P6, P7 for both of the OP drivers in Twist and Yoan. And then, of course, we had GT10's Quads coming through in P8. QRT Yoram in P9. And, of course, Sahilu for IRT in 10th place. I have probably absolutely butchered his name, and I do apologise, Sahilu, if I have absolutely butchered your name. But outside the top 10, we had Vita coming through in 11th. And of course, we had Michelle in P12 for CPI, Daniel in P13 for NLR. Then, of course, we had ET8 Evil in 14th. We had GL's Ryan in 15th, and of course we had IRT's Aiden in 16th, and Yannick for WOR, I believe was the last of, actually no, he was the last finisher on the lead lap. And then of course we had GL's Sasha and Toby, who finished a lap down. They did get classified, and of course it was CPI Top G, who did not start. I believe had some issues in joining the lobby himself. Which was unfortunate, but what that has done to the standings, it does mean that Outplayed Racing still lead the way on 122 points, but tied for second now, ET8 Esports and Neverlast Racing Esports, both on 93 points apiece. And that battle for second is closing in on the battle for first as well, but it is starting to heat up at the top end of the championship.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, ET8 second right now. They have won 2 times from 3 rounds. The other victory went also to OP Racing. So OP Racing has a little bit of a healthy lead, as you can see. Thanks to their, it was Singapore race. Yeah, they finished 1-2. So obviously, that always helps.
Yeah, and of course, and the team that you mentioned just a few moments ago, TF10 Esports, moving themselves up into fourth in the championship on 58 points, 2 points ahead of X Esports, who are on 56 points in fifth place. And then, of course, we got GT10 on 55 points. Another very close battle between those 3 teams for P4 right now. And then, of course, we got WR Esports on 45 points in 7th place. GL Esports on 39 in 8th. CPI Esports on 37 points in 9th. And, of course, International Racing Team IRT bringing up the rear on 26 points. And honestly, close battles throughout the grid so far, but we will go ahead and give you a quick reminder of what teams are driving in what cars as well before we get going in towards qualifying. So it is, of course, the OP team in the Scuderia Ferraris. ET8 will, of course, be driving the AMG Petronas Mercedes F1 car. And then, of course, we've got GL in the Red Bull Racing car. WR are in the ALFA Romeos, with Neverlast Racing in the Williams F1 car. And then, of course, we've got CPI Esports in the Aston Martins. X Esports in the McLarens, GT10 in the Scuderia Alpha Tauris, then we got IRT in the Haas F1 car, and of course TF10 in the French Alpine cars. Of course, going to be showcasing what they can do, and of course a quick reminder of the point system here in the Ultimate Masters Team Racing League as followed: 30 points for first place, 25 points for second place, 20 points for third, 17 for fourth, and then of course 15 points for fifth, and then it goes down in increments of 1 all the way down to 19th place that gets 1 singular point, and it is of course a point for fastest lap and pole position. So even though OP managed to get a healthy lead early on with a 1-2 finish in Singapore, as you mentioned earlier, there's still a lot of races in the season for them to be caught by the rest of the pack. Yeah, I believe BJ might have had a little bit of a connection issue there, but yeah, we'll move quickly on and of course remind you of the calendar as well. Of course, we are here for round number 4 at Belgium, the last race here in Division 1 for 2023, as we will be getting underway for qualifying in just a few moments. Of course, we'll be back in the new year for what should be a very interesting race as we take in the Saudi Arabian circuit as we go to Jeddah on the 16th of January. Of course, then we go to Brazil a fortnight after that for round number 6. And of course, it'll be Silverstone, Hungary, the USA, Azerbaijan, Australia, Qatar. And then, of course, the season finale will be at Suzuka. And let's see, round 4. We are here at Belgium, and it is going to be a very, very interesting race. Of course, weather conditions could really play a factor, as well as many other factors as well. Safety cars do tend to come out here every now and then, depending on how incidents go. I mean, there can be incidents around here. We hope that we will not be seeing any whatsoever here tonight, but qualifying is just about getting underway. Jake, shall we jump on in to the action out on track?
Yeah, sure. Right now the drivers have just loaded up into the garage. I'm sure they right now are switching their setups on, maybe putting on a shiny new set of soft tires. Unfortunately, we've got one GL car which hasn't joined the lobby. I'm not sure if he had any issue, but we didn't hear nothing from the chat. Hopefully he can join mid-session, sorry. And of course he will receive some penalty points with it, but we want to see a 20 car grid.
Yeah, absolutely. The first car out on track, though, is NLR Knuff in that fantastic looking Williams car. And honestly, this is a big race for both NLR and, of course, for ETA as well, because they've had a couple of good results in recent races that have helped them close the gap on OP somewhat. And they need another big one here to really carry the momentum on in towards the new year.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, this is the last race before the new year, so we've got approximately 1 month stop, obviously because of festive season. Yeah, it would be really great to finish off the year with a great result tonight. Obviously, huge points given to the top finishes, so maybe they will hope to finish 1-2 and their respective rivals finishing a little bit lower, or maybe not finish at all, to get the maximum points possible from this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there's a very long lap here at Belgium, and it's going to be all about if you can hook up a lap together. We are going to stay on board with Knuff for a flying lap here around Spa-Francorchamps, as long as the Alpine in behind doesn't overtake him and becomes a lead car. But we'll stay on board with Knuff for a flying lap around Spa-Francorchamps as he comes through Blanchimont now in towards the bus stop chicane, and now this is where he needs to get a perfect run out of the final corner to get his lap underway. And good traction on the exit, DRS wide open, and we will begin the lap now. Heading down in towards turn number 1, the Source, breaking at the 100-meter board, going down into third gear, using the camber of the corner to get the car turned in, get rotated, and on the exit there, good traction for Knuff as well. As we head down into Eau Rouge, as we climb through the hill, over the crest of Radion, and now on to the Camel Straight, with DRS being activated once again as we run down to the first sector split in towards the breaking of Le Congs, looking once again for around about the 100-meter, breaking around about 75 meters out from the looks of it as we go through Le Congs here now. Very smooth in towards Brussels, breaking down, big snap on the entry there for Knuff, and I think he will try to keep his lap going, but you'll know there's more time there as we go through No Name now in towards Pouon. And this is so easy to get wrong, so easy to just carry a bit too much speed, get a little bit too close to the curve on the inside, and that could be a lap over and done with. Now in towards a Campos section, using a lot of the inside curve here as Knuff now in towards Stavilo, middle sector split, and it's going to be a 13.2 in the middle sector. Now nothing else to do but put your foot to the floor as we run down towards a Blanchimont. 8th gear, 320 kilometers an hour as we approach Blanchimont, taking as much speed as possible through there, and now the braking for the bus stop chicane. Get the car slowed down, 3rd gear, the gear of choice there for Knuff. Needs good traction on the exit, DRS wide open to the line, will come Knuff, and it's going to be a 41.3 to get underway here in qualifying.
Yeah, obviously 41.3 is a great banker. I'm expecting our drivers to go into the mid 140. There is Fraser right now, 1 minute 41.178. So, and there is Johan, 140.7. So that prediction almost went out of the window because slowly on our banker laps we are already near the mid 40s.
Yeah, of course it is the opening lap, so of course it's all going to be about just getting a lap time on the board for these guys. As I'm on board with Ryan coming through the final couple of corners now to the line. He'll come up into P7, a 41.4 for him. As we have XE Sports Burak, I believe his name is, as he jumps up into P5 with a 41.2, immediately knocked down to P6, and I believe that was Marlon going up there into P3 with a 40.9.
Obviously, since this track is a long one, they will be going out 3 times. Obviously, every time they try to push more the limit to lower that lap time, but I'm very impressed with these type of banker laps, Mike. Really competitive. We also could see our drivers go into the low 140s.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna look to see if we got anyone on a proper flying lap. I believe Boyo Lulu is coming through the first sector now. 30 flat in the first sector. A little bit off of what we've seen so far. Of course, Boyo Lulu will just probably want to get something on the board, like just a valid lap on the board. Just make sure he has something to work with for the remainder of this session. This is his first flying lap as we go through. No Name does keep it valid on the exit, and that is a key area where we could be seeing some warnings getting picked up in the race, which of course would be accumulating into 3-second time penalties. We head through Pouan now into the Campos section as we go through with GT10 Boyo Lulu as he now comes through Stavilo, and it's a 30 flat purple middle sector, but I believe that is purple for himself, not purple for the session, as he does have a Williams that gets swiftly out of the way on the run down in towards Blanchimont. And coming through there, Boyolulu still looking good now, breaking down in towards the bus stop chicane, and gets good traction on the exit, does the Alfa Tari, and to the line. And it's going to be a 41.1, good enough for P6 opening banker. Not bad there for Boyolulu.
Yeah, obviously GT10 in the midfield fight with XE Sports TF10. They are going to hope for a great result today, so they can establish themselves in that position.
Yep, wasting no time, immediately coming out for a second out lap is of course Neverlast Racing's Knuff, and he's being swiftly followed by OP Twist. OP Twist unfortunately invalidated his first run, as did TF10 Enzo, ET8 Freddy Spiga. I do apologise if I have butchered the name. Freddy Spiga, I believe it's
I think it's an Italian name. It's like Fedespiga. Something like that, maybe.
That's what I was thinking, but with my Welsh accent, it does not come out anything like what it was meant to come out like.
Yeah.
But
obviously, if I get it wrong, I apologize. But yeah, let's call him Fede. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll shorten it down to Fede.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Knuff immediately out there, obviously waiting for laps to come through from Enzo, Fede, Sieb, Marcos Costa, and Twist, and I believe Henhide potentially, I think had a qualifying ban, if I remember correctly. I thought I saw someone mention a qualifying ban.
Yeah. Of course, WOR have, unfortunately for them, received a qualifying ban because they exceeded the penalty points. They exceeded 5 penalty points, so today they have to serve the qualifying ban. Obviously, it's not one of the most hardest track to overtake, because if it was Monaco, that will be a great headache. But hopefully, he can improve that position.
Yeah, absolutely. And Knuff now coming through the source, turn number 1. And of course, getting good traction on the exit. Currently on a 41.3, and will probably get a little bit of a toe off his teammate here. So definitely going to be helping Knuff improve on his first sector split as does need to get out of the way, and he does, and he's up by over a tenth, almost a tenth and a half as we come through. There comes now,
and the point that he needed to improve from last lap, so he takes it much better this time. Doesn't lose the back end of the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a great lap from Canute right now.
Absolutely, as we head through Pool on now, 7th gear, the gear choice for Knuff. As we head in towards the Campbell section, Fede with a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. Potentially that may lead to a restart in the lobby, because the game does tend to hand them out when it's not really necessary. But look at that, Knuff over half a second up in the middle sector. This could be on course, get himself provisional pole positions. We head down in towards Blanchimont once again. The Neverlast Racing driver through Blanchimont. The clouds are out, no weather thus far though. Going to come into play, but breaking down in towards the bus stop chicane. Third gear, once again the gear choice for Knuff, and good traction on the exit. DRS wide open, and it's a 40.8, so he slots in there just ahead of his teammate Marlon, who obviously helped Knuff get himself up there.
Yeah, sure, it was a great teammate from the NLR pair. Obviously, that toe helped him a lot, and he improved a tenth and a half. Yeah, it's great teamwork from them. They need to work together. We have to remember this is not an individual championship. This is a team's championship, which the team points matter. So if you can, the teams have to always work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Twist did get a lap time on the board. He's jumped himself up into P5 with a 40.9. And currently on board with X Esports is Seam, as he's coming through the bus stop chicane. But Enzo for TF10 puts on provisional pole, 6,000ths of a second ahead of Johan. Seam goes up into P6 as well. Will Johan be responding? He's out there on track. Yes, he does respond. 700ths of a second ahead of Enzo there. Big improvement. Meanwhile, we've got CPI again coming through the bus stop chicane. Over a 10th up in the middle sector from the CPI driver. Coming through
this
now.
Should be full.
Yeah, it should be provisional pole for Gian, and he goes there with a 40.614 CPI. Gian there up onto provisional pole.
Wow, CPI really need this result. They were very unlucky, because they have missed a couple of races because one of their drivers couldn't join the lobbies. So this will surely help their championship if they manage to score this pole position and score good points at the end of the race.
Yeah, and coming on board with the second driver for CPI, and that's for CPI Fraser. Almost 2 tenths up in the middle sector. This will be enough to get him into the 140s, but he needs to find a bit more time in the final sector if he wants to get himself ahead of some of the drivers up ahead. But look at that, Neverlast Racing's Marlon, 40.3. Incredible lap time there from the Neverlast Racing driver.
Obviously, he's a PSG LF1 driver, so yeah, really impressive. PSG LF1 pole was like a 40.1, obviously drivers don't practice as much as for PSGL races, but it goes to show the level of the drivers we have in this lobby. Some of them are the best on the PlayStation platform, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcus went across the line, goes up into P4 for the TF10 team. So both TF10 drivers up inside the top 5, both Neverlast Racing drivers in the top 6, both CPI drivers in the top 7, and of course both OP drivers inside the top 10, as well as both X Esports drivers as well. So looks like the top 10 at the moment is currently shared between 5 teams.
Yeah. All these teams maybe were, for example, maybe, I don't know, practicing together before the start of this event, trying to get maximum points possible. Obviously, there are the likes of also ET8, which I think they are out of position, in my opinion. P14 and P16 currently. But other than Marlon, the grid is close. There is top 10 separated by like 4/10. Yeah.
I mean, from second place all the way down to 9th, there's three and a half tenths separating the second down to 9th, so very close between them. Obviously, from 10th all the way down to 17th, there's of course 3 tenths separating, 3.5 tenths separating them as well. Of course, GT10 Skyzy down in 18th, obviously on a 42.2. Definitely, I think he's made a mistake on his lap, so he's definitely looking for big improvements. Henhide obviously serving the qualifying ban for WOR. So we're going to see what happens here as I get a notification that my controller battery is very low. But I'm going to leave you guys on board with Twist while I make sure I get my controller changed over now. So bear with me 2 seconds, guys. I shall be right back.
Looks like the OP guys are going to team up again. Johan is giving a toe to Twist. Let's see his Sector 1 split. It's a 29.8. Obviously, almost 2/10 improvement. So if he hooks up Sector 2 and Sector 3, he would really challenge for maybe another grid position there from Gian. But of course, we're gonna restart the lobby after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Twist at the moment, big improvements in Sector 1.
Some traffic right now.
Yeah, I was about to mention, coming up to a lot of traffic in the end of the middle sector and through that final sector as well. Look at the absolute truly train going on in that final sector right now, as Twist is still over a 10th up. He is going to get a bit of a tow from some of these guys, but if they don't get out of the way, it's going to be all for nothing as he comes down now in towards Blanchimont. He does have an Alfa Romeo in the way. He needs to make sure. Oh my God, that was very close here between Eve and Twist.
He impeded. Obviously, that's the risk when you don't get synchronized with the grid. But of course, every driver should take note of what's happening from the minimap. So I would expect a report coming in from OP.
Yeah, absolutely. As it looks like Marcus is going to sacrifice his qualifying session to help Enzo out as he gives him a big tow down the Kemmel Straight into the first sector split. 10.5 up for Enzo. Of course, Marcus is not going to be able to set a lap time. Checker flag has fallen in the session. Marlon, Marcus, and of course Fraser not going to be able to set a lap time. Knuff is still in the pit, so he's not going to set a lap time. Obviously, we just saw Twist's lap get impeded at the end, so his lap time's not going to be an improvement. And of course, Sieb also still in the pits as well. And absolute heartbreak for him as well. But coming on board with TF10, Enzo has actually got a Red Bull coming to the line. So we'll jump on board with the Red Bull of, I believe that is Ryan, coming into the bus stop chicane. Then, of course, we got a XE Sports driver coming in behind that as well. But we'll stay on board with Ryan as he crosses the line. Up in the P8 for Ryan, Seam, the next man across the line. And, of course, we'll have one of the ET8 drivers coming through, but Seam to the line. Up to P3, big lap from him, and it is of course going to be Freddy coming through the bus stop chicane now. We're going to get cars coming in thick and fast, and now Freddy's put straight into the wall. He wasn't happy with his lap at all, and it's going to be starting from P17 at best.
Yeah, really not a great qualifying session from ET8, but we are now on board with the Mercedes driver. Let's see what he does. It's up to 12.
Rock up to P13, and of course Twist we know is going to be improving on his lap, but Johan of course invalidated as well, and that is qualifying over and done with. It's going to be Neverlast Racing's Marlon who does take the pole position point and will start from the front of the grid. But Enzo, in the end for TF10, did manage to get himself onto the front row P2. Of course, we have to make sure that we keep track of these grid positions, because that is what is going to be sorted into. I don't know if you're doing a quick screenshot of that right now.
Yeah, I'm doing it just right now, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll run you for the order. It is, of course, Marlon who takes pole position with Enzo in P2, Guyan in P3 with Seam in P4, Johan in P5, Marcus in P6, Knuth in P7 with Fraser in P8, Ryan in P9, and then Twist rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10, we have WR Eve in 11th with Evil in 12th, Borak in 13th, and of course Boyo Lulu in 14th, Kenny in 15th, and of course Sieb in 16th, Freddy in 17th, Skyzy in 18th, and of course Henhide with our qualifying ban will be starting from the back of the grid. And of course we will go back to the commentator chat screen right now, so while the grid is getting all sorted up, you haven't got to look at the grid getting sorted up. You get to look at our beautiful faces with these graphics. So and a very incredible qualifying session. Obviously Neverlast Racing, very strong performance in qualifying, and potentially could be closing that gap on OP, especially with what happened to Twist at the end with him getting impeded like that in the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we don't have to forget that they now have an extra 1 point for the pole position. So currently they are already overtaken ET8 in the standings, but of course OP being down there and also ET8 being also a little bit out of position, it's looking like a great end to the year for an NLR.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course while we wait to get the grid all sorted, let's get predictions going on in the chat right now. I don't actually have the chat put up right now, because obviously I'm trying to keep my bandwidth a bit lower so it doesn't stress out the internet. But what is going on in the chat, VJ? Anything popping off over there?
So basically right now I am in the Discord chat because we have just given order to all the drivers to retire from the session, so we can obviously set up another lobby. But I am going to quickly hover over to the Twitch set, to the Twitch chat. So let's see if any of our spectators are.
So if any of the spectators are there, I want to get your guys' predictions. I want to know what you guys think will happen in this race, and we're going to see who is going to come out on top, according to you guys, the viewers, because of course, spectacle here is, obviously you guys are a massive part of the spectacle here, as much as the drivers are, as much as myself and VJ are, as the commentators in the box. You guys are absolutely fantastic. So we want to get your predictions, we want to get you involved. Let us know who is going to be on the top step of the podium by the end of this race, and who of course will be alongside the race winner, and who will be the team that scores the most points? Let us know in the chat right now.
Obviously, currently we've got a really, really lonely chat, to be honest, which I'm not happy of. Luca Ripassa. Is that Luca Ripassa or not? I'm not sure. He said X for the win, so he must be or an ex-driver or maybe an ex-fan. And there is Stash who said Ale la GT10. So there you go. ET8 Felix just wrote now ET8 comeback. Yeah, we could see that. Obviously, ET8 with really good drivers. So we can't exclude that.
Absolutely. ETA are a team that's definitely capable of a comeback drive as well. So I wouldn't rule that out of the realms of possibility for ETA to make their way through the field. It is going to be a arduous journey for them, though. I mean, starting outside the top 10, it's going to be a long old race. But of course, with the restarted lobby, it does mean everyone should now have plenty of soft tyres available to them. If there is a late safety car or a late VSC that allows them to have a shortened pit stop and potentially, have a slightly better strategy for the end of the race. So we'll have to wait and see as we are now back in the main lobby. So we'll make sure that we get everything sorted ASAP. We do have 17 of the 19 drivers currently in here. So we have lost 2 drivers. Hopefully they rejoin ASAP. There's one of them. Hopefully we get the other one joining in just a moment. There we go, 19 drivers. Could we get the full 20? Will we see the second of the GL drivers join? Starting from the back, of course.
Obviously, I really hope he does, but right now the GL team haven't said anything right now. I'm going to be a little bit quiet now. I'm going to set up the grid. Hopefully I don't do any mistakes. And I leave the comms over to you, Mike.
Yeah, of course. VJ is, of course, doing that. Once again, let us take a look at the current standings, and we'll talk about that. So, of course, with the pole position point, Neverlast Racing do jump themselves up into P2 in the standings ahead of ET8 Esports. 1 point between them. And, of course, it's going to be interesting by the end of this race because Neverlast Racing are looking very strong here. So, good possibility that they could close the gap on Outplayed Racing up there for the battle for P1 in the standings. Of course, TF10, X Esports, and of course GT10 very close in the standings as well. Only 3 points separating those 3 teams. And TF10, very good qualifying session for them. X Esports, great qualifying session for them. GT10, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be in the midfield. They're gonna be battling out. But GT10 have been one of those teams that have been consistent in terms of just capitalizing on teams' mistakes around them. So I do expect them to kind of make their way up the order. Of course, WOR currently in P7 on 45 points. Will they be able to close the gap on the likes of TF10, X Esports, and GT10 up ahead? Time will tell. GL Esports team, unfortunately for them, given that they only have the 1 driver here, it's going to be difficult for them to really maintain P8 in the standings. Of course, CPI Esports, 2 points behind them. They have a great opportunity to jump themselves ahead of GL here tonight. And IRT, a team that has... Well, they're waiting for a big result. IRT, I think, they are capable of a big result. They are capable of a huge result, actually. But so far this season, it hasn't come their way. And maybe tonight is that night. Of course, CPI Esports currently down in P9. They are down there for the sheer fact that there's been connection issues for their drivers in previous races that has meant that they haven't been able to attend every single race thus far, but definitely a team to keep an eye on as the season goes on. And of course, they are the defending champions here in Division 1 from last season. Of course, we do have 19 drivers in the grid again. Let's go ahead and run you through the lineup for each of these teams. So, of course, for GT10, it is Skyzy and Boyolulu for GT10. For TF10, it is Enzo and Marcos _ Costa for TF10. For Neverlast Racing Esports, it is, of course, Marlon and Knuff. For Outplayed Racing, it is, of course, Twist and Johan GLT. For X Esports, it is Barack and, of course, Seam stepping in for Felix 1. Felix 1 was down as the original driver, but Seam has stepped in as the reserve driver. Of course, Seam racing here in place of Felix 1. IRT, of course, have Kenny and Seb driving for them here tonight. Of course, GL, they do have Ryan here. Unfortunately for them, Lars isn't here, and that is why they are down a driver here tonight. Of course, ETA coming through with Evil and Fede. Of course, Matteo was meant to be the original driver, but Fede going to be stepping in for Matteo this week. So, of course, using the reserve drivers. Of course, WR using Henhide, and of course, Eve, and obviously CPI using Guyan and Fraser here tonight as their main drivers, as we are moments away from getting back into the action. VJ, the grid all good?
Yeah, grid ordered. Obviously, we have given the okay to the drivers to ready up. Hopefully, I haven't done any mistakes, but I double checked. Hopefully, yeah, the drivers are loading up into the lobby right now. Right now, I think they are selecting their setups. If any drivers are listening to us right now, which I know some of them are, please don't forget your setups.
Yeah, absolutely. And if any engineers are in the chat as well, please remind the drivers to make sure they have their setups loaded once again, because that, honestly, forgetting your setup around the track, like Belgium, is already race ending, in my opinion, because default setups are not the way to go around this circuit. There's too many high speed straights where you want a slippier car. You do not want to have too much drag down the Camel Straight and, of course, down the back straight in towards the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, obviously, it's a nightmare to try to race against other drivers with obviously a great setup and yourself with the default one. Nah, it's not gonna work.
Of course, weather conditions out there, I believe it is looking...
Gonna be dry.
Yeah, it is looking very dry out there. So fortunately for the drivers, no changeable conditions going to be coming into play. And we await to see the tyre compound selected by all these guys. I mean, I'm predicting a lot of hard compounds early on, and then swapping over to a set of mediums towards the end of the race. What do you reckon?
Yeah, obviously, multiple strategies here could work. Soft to medium does work here. This track tends not to eat up too much rubber, but obviously, if a safety car comes out, since it's a big pit lane, drivers are going to take advantage of it and maybe change their strategies to get a free stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, any safety cars will change strategies on the fly. I believe everyone making sure that they got their setups, and is very good that no one's readying up yet and giving everyone time to make sure they got their setups absolutely nailed on.
I think that now it's enough time. What do you say, Mike? We can ask them to ready up now.
I mean, not right now. Ryan's just left the session. Unfortunately for GL, the run Romanian driver has unfortunately left the session. So hopefully he can get back into the session as soon as possible. It does mean he will miss the start of the race, so he will be ghosted early on. And when he does take control of his car, please take control of it in a safe manner. Do not take control of it mid-corner, in the middle of the middle sector. That is not ideal for anyone. It's better to be safe than sorry, in my opinion.
I haven't seen him getting out of the lobby, but can you confirm it's only one driver?
I can confirm it is only one driver as we head back to the action on track, as it is the 5 red lights. Lights are underway here in Belgium, and we are underway. Marlon with a good line, good start, and oh my god, look at the tyre strategies. Absolutely checkable in terms of the strategies, but we were 3 wide through turn 1. Ryan has rejoined the session. Fortunately for him, he should be able to get back in his car, but his car is falling down the order. Interesting early on, Enzo going for a set of the soft tyres, putting pressure on Marlon early on as he's on his ERS. He's going to move to the outside, and this should be job done, but it is going to be Marlon that tries to outbrake him, but runs deep into the corner, and that allows Enzo free passage in towards P1.
Yeah. We didn't see any carnage into the first lap, so that's always promising. But look at the bunch. They are bunched up, and obviously these are all very good drivers. We could see a DRS train all the race long, so let's see what happens. But obviously those different types of strategies also could help, or maybe not help at all, drivers that want to stay in the DRS train, you know, because if you're on soft tires like TF Enzo is,
here comes Marcus. Marcus Costa on your one, sorry to cut in there. Marcus got a great run out of Stavro, and he's closing right up in towards Blanchemont. He's up the outside line for the bus stop chicane, which will turn to the inside for the second part, but he's going to try and outbrake the Ferrari, go around the outside. Job done for Marcus Costa. Both TF10 drivers going for a set of the soft tyres early on, and this is boding well for Enzo. He's managed to get through on Marlon immediately, and he's already got that gap to 1 second, which is exactly what he needed.
Obviously, soft rubber against hard tyre, which obviously is going to give the advantage in the first couple of laps. But I'm a bit surprised that TF10 didn't split up their strategy, because if something happens, they have to double check now. They are both they're going to be stuck together if they both pit. But TPI John has just overtaken Marlon.
Yeah, of course, the medium tyres versus the hard tyres. Once again, Marlon going for a conservative starting strategy, as Evil is falling down the order, being overtaken by both Eve and IRT Kenny there for P10 and P11. Evil now down to P12, and OP Twist, after I want to say he fell back a couple of spots in the opening corner, but he's starting to make his way back up through the field. He's got himself back up into P8, getting onto the back of Seam now. Within the 1 second, and breaking away from Knuth. Those medium tyres working well for the OP driver. Marcos finding himself in a bit of bother now, because he can't find a way past Neverlast Racing's Marlon for that final spot on the podium. But those soft tyres surely now have the grip for him to try around the outside here into the bus stop chicane. He's going to play it safe, play it conservative, maybe look for a better line on the exit as we begin lap number 3. Guillaume with a new fastest lap, and he is just within that 1 second window, and this will be heartbreak for the TF10 driver if Guillaume is able to stay within 1 second.
Yeah, DRS will be enabled now. Both the drivers are using their battery storage to make sure for TF10 driver hopes that Gian doesn't have. He's got it. Yeah, he's got it. They are both running low now. First 4 drivers are running low, but now as time passes, that soft tire is going to lose its prime. Then Gian will have the upper hand, and after that upper hand will go to Marlon. So these drivers fighting for the win have to make sure they stay in DRS of each other.
Yeah, of course, strategy is going to be absolutely key at the front end. Of course, the top 3 on 3 different compounds of tyres. Marlon, of course, on the hard tyres, Gian on the mediums, and of course Enzo on the soft tyres. Of course, Marcos Costa there the second of the TF10 drivers. He is also on a set of the soft tyres, as we've got a big battle going on in the midfield, and that is Fede in the wall, missing a front wing, and that is a virtual safety car. 5-second time penalty for Skyzy for a collision with his teammate Boyolulu.
Oh, that's not ideal. That's really not ideal. Obviously, I don't know what happened there, but that type of penalty can't be removed since they are going to pit and he's going to serve it in the pit. So really not ideal from the GT10 team there.
Yeah, an absolute heartbreak for the ET10 team as well, with Fede missing a front wing, needs to come into the pits. Boyolulu's into the pits as well as DRS gets enabled once again. The VSC has ended. Will there be a front wing change for Boyolulu as well? It might give us some indication of what kind of happened with Fede. We jumped on board with it pretty late, and I think it is going to be a front wing change. Yes, he is missing an end plate there, Boyolulu. So yeah, heartbreak for GT10 and ET8 there. But Gian has had a absolutely fantastic virtual safety car restart, as he is well and truly on the back of Enzo now.
Yeah, obviously they have charged a bit their batteries from that VSC. The soft tire, I think around here, its lifespan is around 10 to 9 laps. So in 2-3 laps, we will see the medium tire in its prime against an old soft tire. So obviously Enzo got the upper hand in the start. Let's see.
And of course the top 8 all in a DRS train with each other. Of course the top 8 consists of both TF10 drivers on the set of the soft compound tyres, both CPI drivers on the set of the medium compound tyres. Unfortunately, it's not both Neverlast Racing drivers. Of course, Marlon on the set of the hards. Canuff is around about 2 seconds off the back of this top 8 train, also on a set of hard tyres. We have Seam there for X Esports, also on a set of hard tyres. We have both OP drivers, one on the set of the hards and one on the set of mediums. Twist on the set of the mediums, and of course Johan on the set of the hard compound tyres. Varying strategies inside the top 8, but all within DRS of each other. And Enzo right now is going to be under pressure and could fall all the way down to P3 here, as here goes going with DRS, simple as you like. And here comes Marlon coming through as well. Going to try and get through, getting squeezed all the way to the inside from Enzo. And Marlon should be able to get that job done. Yes, he does. Down the inside, Enzo from P1 down to P3 in the span of one DRS straight.
Yeah, obviously, it's a bit hard to be the leading driver without DRS, without a tow, going into that one of the longest F1 straight on the calendar. Obviously, he couldn't done anything there.
Nothing that Enzo could have done. He did try to hold off Marlon the best he could, squeezed him all the way to the inside, but it just wasn't enough. Yellow flag in the middle sector. That is Ryan, who is around at Huon, and he has lost a huge amount of time. We'll jump on board with him, see if he has lost any front wing. And yes, he has. He's lost an end plate. He's lost the front left end plate there. So GL's there, going from bad to worse. One driver not here. The other driver with wing damage going to be rejoining now at the back of the field.
Yeah, it's not a great day for G League team. Obviously, having one driver left, it's already bad, but when you're at the back of the grid with wing damage, it's getting worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Lap 6, once again, we have Marlon now for Neverlast Racing on the back of CPI GN. So this should be a simple overtake with DRS as he cruises by, and it's a safety car here, triggered on lap 6, and that is Ryan out of the race. And as Ryan made contact with the pit wall, I think he has, and Ryan out of the race, and that has triggered the safety car here.
Yeah, so it's confirmed. 0 points for Team GL in the 4th round of the Velocity Ultimate Masters round 4. Yeah, I think he must have made contact going into the pit since he had no end plate. I don't know if it's parastation or not, but I hope not. But that is going to change the strategy completely
Well,
of everybody. Yeah.
Well, this is perfect for both TF10 drivers. They can just jump in upon a set of hards. Everyone on the set of the mediums can jump in upon the set of the hards as well, if they wanted. But those on the hard compound tyres, I mean, their option would be to chuck on a set of mediums, but the mediums are going to be so worn by the end of this race, they essentially need another safety car to kind of balance it out here. So the hard runners have essentially been done over here by the full course safety car here.
Yeah. Whoever is on the hard tires can or opt for a 2-stop strategy, or maybe put on those medium tires and pray.
In. So is GN, so is Enzo. Marcus, I believe, was trying to back up to give himself a little bit of room. And yes, he continues to back up to give himself more room.
The question is everybody pitting or not? But by the looks of things, everybody is.
Well, I mean, Marcus is going to lose a bit of time behind his teammate, of course, in the pit lane. As is Twist going to lose time behind Johan, also in the pit lane. I believe that was Brock losing a bit of time to Seam as well, as we have both of the WR drivers losing a bit of time also. So everyone getting kind of held up by their teammates, but fortunately for Twist, still able to come out in P8, which is good for him. And interesting, both Enzo and Marcus go for a set of the medium tyres, not a set of the hards. And obviously, as you expect, the medium runners going for a set of the hard tyres. Henhide, though, going very alternative, chucking on a set of the soft compound tyres.
Wow, it could be also that it was a mistake. Maybe he wanted to switch to the mediums and pressed the soft by mistake, but I don't know. He has committed to a 2-stop strategy now for sure. He's not going to make it till the end.
Yep, absolutely. As Ryan leaves the session, heartbreak here for GL. Of course, no points for them here in round number 4. Let's have a little look at who has gained the most positions in the opening 7 laps. Of course, it is Henhide up 9 places early on, getting himself from the back of the field up into P10. Of course, other big gainers include CPI Fraser up 3 places. We have IRTC up 3 places, and GT10 Skyzy up also 3 places. The big losers so far in this race has been WR Eve down 5, Boyolulu down 4, and of course Seam down 3 places, and of course Ryan, who is out of the race, but he dropped 10 places and no points for him.
Yeah. Big question is now, are the medium runners going to stay out till the end? Are the tires going to hold on? What I know is that the medium tire can do 12 to 13 laps, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So if we have 2 laps after the safety car, it's gonna be doable, but with some risk, I think.
I mean, I think the mediums should be able to get to the end. It's just the condition of the mediums is going to be so much worse than the hard tyres. Like, in my opinion right now, both CPI drivers are sitting in a fantastic position. Both of them inside the top 5. Both of them on a set of hards.
Sorry, Mike. Hyde has just pitted now, so I think it was a mistake that he did pitting for softs earlier on.
Yeah, absolutely. Henhide into the pits, as you mentioned. Obviously, Skyzy and Boyolulu also into the pits as well. Henhide will retake P16 as Skyzy and Boyolulu, both GT10 drivers, in 17th and 18th place respectively. Not a good day for GL, not a good day for GT10, and right now, not a good day for WOR as well in 14th and 16th place.
Yeah, I like what GT10 have done, because now they have switched to the hards, and they have 1 lap fresher tires than everybody else. Obviously, we are not going full speed, so the wear is not that high, but it could help having those 4 to 3% tire wear to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, while we are in the safety car, what is going on in the Twitch chat? I want to see what's going on over there. So, VJ, what is everyone saying in the Twitch chat right now?
So we've just have comments from Troye, obviously CPI owner. Hello, my friend Troye, how are you? He said meds on best position. Hards are awful, and this distance is perfect for mediums. So Troye is saying that the guys who are on medium tires should have the upper hand. Obviously, yes, since they will be grippier, but I have a small doubt if they are going to manage till the end. But I think they should do.
Well, I mean, the hards are going to be the better tire by the end of this race. The mediums will get to the end. It's going to be a case of if both Gian and Fraser can stay with these guys on the mediums when they have the advantage, and just making sure they're ready to pounce when the tyres begin to wear towards the end of the race. That is the big opportunity for both CPI drivers and, of course, OP Twist as well in P8. I mean, mediums will get to the end. It's just going to be a bit risky with how much they could drop off by the end of this race. But Marlon has got us going once again. He has it off on the restart here. About to begin lap number 9 of 22. We are green flag racing once again here in Belgium. Here's Marlon leading the way for Neverlast Racing. CPI again in second place, and TF10 Enzo in P3 with OP Johan in P4. CPI Fraser in P5 with TF10's Marcos Costa in P6. XE Sports Seam in P7. OP Twist in P8. And Alar Knuff in P9. And of course ET8 Evil rounds out the top 10.
Of the DRS is disabled right now. We have to wait for 2 laps before it's on again. But it looks like Marlon has already a slight advantage on Gian.
Yeah, Marlon trying to use those mediums early on, as well as using quite a lot of VRS early on as well to break away. He has used around about 20, almost 30% more than what Gian has used for CPI. So using his ERS and the grip of the mediums to pull away as quickly as possible. Seeing with the first 3-second time down, I believe Freddy's was a 5-second if I'm not mistaken, but actually not. Freddy with a 3-second, my apologies there. But yeah, seen with a big 3-second time penalty right now up in P7. Not ideal for the XE Sports team.
Yeah, of course. Getting with all the grid bunched up.
Marcos, there's Flo and Fraser, sorry to get in there. Marcos going through in towards Blanchimont. Up in the P5 goes Marcos Costa.
Yeah, with this grid all bunched up, 3 seconds will lose you lots of positions. Hopefully they gap a little bit for the sakes of my team, XE Sports, and Sam's result.
Yeah, of course, with the grid bunched up like this, Seam is going to be almost like a sitting duck at this point, as long as the grid stays this tight. But I mean, you never know. Once people start battling out for positions, that's when the gaps begin to form. And maybe Sim can save himself a few extra positions by just staying out of trouble, making sure that he times his overtakes well, does not lose any time with it, and also stays out of trouble and not pick up any more warnings around this circuit.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly go check which drivers have how many warnings. So basically now Marlon only has 1, Gian has nothing, Enzo has 2, Marcos Costa has 2, Fraser has 1, obviously Sam there has 3, and Alarkanut has 2, same with ET8 Evil, and VR4 has 1.
We appreciate the update on the warning side of things. Obviously, we got Enzo now closing up to the back of CPI Ian for P2 in this race. Of course, Enzo starting on a set of the soft tyres, made the switch over to mediums under the safety car conditions, and of course, going to be looking to try and take P2 away from the CPI driver. Whether or not Enzo will be able to close in on Marlon for the race win, that will be another question in its entirety. But lap 11 of 22, DRS is now activated once again, and we should see a change for P2 in this race. Maybe a change in the podium finishers as it currently stands, as Johan's not too far off the back of Enzo here, as Enzo's going to make the move on again. Up into P2 goes Enzo. Here comes Johan. Johan's going to be squeezed to the outside, and fortunately for Johan, able to get out of it before really committing anything rashly.
Now the gap from first to second is 1.8 seconds, and Marlon has 30% battery, and TF10 Enzo has 75. So yeah, I think right now it's advantage TF10. If he uses the battery correctly, he can get that gap down. Obviously.
That is Freddy around safety car once again. Lap 11, a second safety car has been deployed. Fede for ET8, no front wing. He's lost it on the exit of No Name. And a heartbreak again for the ET8 esports team, as Fede really not having fun with this circuit here tonight. It's gone horribly wrong for him so far in the race, but safety car conditions does mean that he does have an opportunity to come back and rejoin the back of the field and try and get himself up the order to gain as many points for ET8 as possible. And Marlon's gone into the pits. So Marlon diving into the pits. So has Gian.
Let's not forget that they have all fresh sets of soft and another fresh set of medium, since we've got a new lobby going out. So Marlon has went for the gamble. The ones that stayed out are both the TF10 drivers that are going to get to have the worst tires on the grid. Same with OPO, and so this is going to be really interesting end to the race now.
Yeah, and of course the tyre strategy there, CPI both chucking on a set of the soft compound tyres, as has ET8 Fede down in 18th position. So 3 drivers on a set of the soft compound tyre, everyone else on a set of the mediums, but the top 3 on 5 lap old mediums. So that is slightly misleading. Of course, a couple of those laps were under safety car conditions, and of course a couple of these laps will be under safety car conditions. Remember, we got back racing once again. I believe it was the end of lap 8. Of course, lap 9, lap 10 and lap 11 were under racing conditions. Of course, safety car came out midway through lap number 11. We are on lap 12 right now, so effectively, even though those tyres say 5 laps old, really they're only, I'd say, 3.5 laps extra worn compared to the other tyres.
What I have also noticed now, Mike, is that for the second time, CPI have went alternate to all the grid. Everybody's on mediums and they are on fresh softs. Are they going to till the end?
Oh yeah, I mean they're gonna go to the end. I mean, obviously they had fresh softs available to them. Obviously with the lobby restart, everyone has fresh softs available to them, so they're not going to have any wear on them whatsoever. So it's going to be a few extra percentage that they will save from obviously not having the qualifying wear on them. But both Gian and Fraser will have the ability to try and make their way up the grid and get themselves into a strong position at the end of this race. But the question is, when will those softs fall off? Because they can go 9 laps, they can go 10 laps. It's a case of, will they still have the pace at that distance? So that's the question.
um, 5 to 6 laps, they're going to be absolutely rapid. Also considering there are 3 drivers in front of them which are on more worn medium tires. So I think that it's a good strategy from CPI.
Yeah, absolutely. CPI doing exactly what they need to do right now. And that is play things a little bit differently to the rest of the grid to get themselves the best team performance altogether. Of course, they have been plagued so far this season by connection issues, not able to join lobbies and score the maximum points that they would have wanted. But both drivers are here tonight and both are within a good chance of getting top 5 finishes.
Yeah, surely. To be honest, I would love to see them do great today, just to get back into the championship. As a team, they are a very good team. They are building something great, I think. They have very good drivers, good management. Yeah, I hope for them to get the maximum points they can today.
We shall see if they are able to do so. As it currently stands, it is Enzo for TF10 leading the way. OP's Johan currently in P2 with TF10's Marcos Costa in P3. Nevertheless Racing's Marlon currently in P4 with CPI again in P5 on a set of the soft compound tyres. Seam for XE Sports currently in P6, but with that 3-second time penalty, it's going to be even more difficult now for him to get good points out of this with the second safety car deployed in this race, minimising his opportunity as getting a strong top 10 finish. OP Twist currently in P7 with CPI Fraser in P8, ET8 Evil in P9 with IRTC rounding out the top 10, WOR Eve in 11th, Burak for XE Sports in 12th, Boyoludu for GT10 in 13th, Knuff for Neverlast Racing in 14th, IRT Kenny in 15th, Henhide for WOR in 16th, GT10's Skyzy in 17th, and of course ET8 Fede rounding out the field, but the safety car is in this lap, so Enzo controls the pace. We're going to be on board with Johan, waiting for the moment that Enzo decides to bolt. There will definitely be communication going on between Enzo and Marcus to try and get Marcus ahead of Johan on this restart, and there we go, there goes Enzo. He has bolted and looks like he hasn't caught Johan napping, but looks like the pair of them have caught Marcus napping, so maybe they're not in a party together talking to each other.
Yeah, obviously some drivers don't like to get distracted and talk to their teammates. Some of them do. I am personally one of those that I like to talk with my teammates, but yeah, it looks like
Marcus is around. Marcus around turn 1. Marcus falling all the way down to the back of the field. And that is heartbreak there for the TF10 team. As Marcus all the way down to the back of the field. We got Johan going through on Enzo for the race lead. OP into the lead of this race once again. Fraser's side by side with Seam on the run down into there comes, and around the outside goes Fraser up in the P5 for CPI, and now he can try and push away and join his teammate on the back of Marlon, and we're going to stay on board with Gian right now as unfortunately guys, I do have my cat that's crawling all over me at the moment, so I'm going to put my cat outside my room a second, so I'll be back in just a moment, but we'll leave you on board with this battle as Marlon is looking to get a move done on Enzo.
Yeah, it's a 4-car battle right now. Oh, there's Marlon, went a little bit out of track because of contact, slight contact nonetheless. Great driving from these drivers. Obviously now advantage CPI got to be. They have the best tires, best positions. Maybe let's see a little bit their ERS percentage. CPIG up. Side by side, Marlon and Enzo right now. And Marlon overtakes Enzo, and Enzo loses another place to Gian. Gian dives to the inside of Marlon, up to second. Traction race now, all the way to the to the straight.
Oh, this is
side
so close, and a little bit of contact between the pair of them. I think Gian had a big snap there on the run up through Radion, but Marlon able to hold on to able to hold on ahead of Gian momentarily, but Gian gets through, breaking around the outside. Enzo now back up in the P2, and Johan is still in the lead of this race, but both of those CPI drivers on the soft compound really trying to get their way through up the order.
Yeah. Something that we have to also note is that the two drivers with the worst tires on the grid are still P1, P2. Will they stay there? Who knows?
I'll tell you what, we got Twist really getting underneath that rear wing of Fraser here for P5. Of course, Fraser stuck a little bit behind both Marlon, Gian and Enzo right now. Of course, as they were battling, it's allowed Twist to get right onto the rear wing of the CPI driver as they run down in towards Blanchimont once again. Lap 15 of 22. Johan leads the way, Enzo in second place, Gian in P3, Marlon in P4 as big send around the outside from Twist. I don't think Twist wanted to make that move, but he got caught a little bit off guard, I think, under braking. And yeah, I mean, he's still there, he's managed to keep it going, and he's outbroken himself again.
Yeah.
Almost going into the back of Marlon there, rejoined side by side with Seam, and yeah, I mean, I think Twist there getting a little bit caught off guard with some of the drivers around him.
Yeah, I think Twist outbraked himself two times there.
At the front, sorry to cut in. Gian up into the race lead, 3 wide, surely not into the comms as... Oh, thank God they've managed to sort themselves out before going 3 wide there as Marlon gets up into P2, Enzo down to P3, Johan all the way down to P4, under pressure now from Fraser down the inside in towards Purcell's. No, not going to go for it. But now Gian into the race lead, and I believe he'll try to pull away now. Marlon now up into P2, exactly where he needs to be. He needs to be that first car behind Gian, because he knows by the end of this race he will have the opportunity to come back at him.
Yeah, currently Gian with the best tires. Obviously he will try to take advantage of them, using also the ERS deployment to try and extend that gap to up to more than 1 second. Currently 6/10. Now we'll see Marlon if he manages to stay. For now he will stay, but we'll see if he manages to stay in the long term.
Well, this is also important for both Enzo and Johan's race, if they can stay within 1 second of Marlon as well. But here goes Fraser down the inside of Johan into the bus stop chicane. Job done for the CPI driver. Up in the P4 goes CPI Fraser, and now we can get onto the back of Enzo here with DRS and maybe get himself into the race win fight as well with his teammate, of course, in Gian, and of course Marlon, who should have an opportunity of overtaken now for the race lead with DRS as we run down the Kemmel Straight. It's going to be done before the activation point by here, and in fact, there we go, side by side, and in the background you see Fraser going through as well as Johan, and oh my God, look at Evil there. Evil absolutely out of nowhere. I think a little bit of contact there with Johan. Evil, Enzo and Johan there getting all tangled with each other, and that has allowed Fraser to break away here. Not what Enzo and Johan would want, but Evil getting himself involved in it as we got Twist and Johan side by side. Little bit of contact between the pair of them as seen there now on the inside. Lovely little switchback from the XE Sports driver down the inside in towards Puan on Twist. Twist holding it around the outside. Going to use a bit of battery to try and fight that position, and he should have it done down the inside. This is a yellow flag in the back. That is for Fede once again. It has really not been Fede's day here for ET8, but his teammate Evil, incredible on the restart. He's got himself up into P5 now over the course of this race.
Yeah, it's 4-car battles everywhere you look, really. I think I don't want to jinx this race, but really enjoyable. Oh my
See
god.
Johan side by side through Blanchimon, looking at the back from Twist right now. As seen down the inside into the bus stop chicane. Meanwhile, in behind you can see Barack and Eve battling out, but it looks like it will be the scene that will get P7 as Baraka trying to have a little look around the outside of the source, and he will do so. Betty has left the session, and heartbreak again for ET8 as lap 18. It looks like Marlon has now done what he needed to do. He's got himself in the lead and he's pulled the 1 second gap now.
Yeah, Gian with 5% battery and Marlon with
that
14.
Is Twist
So
with broken front wing. Sorry to cut in there. Twist hitting the back of Enzo. Broken front wing for the OP driver. This is absolutely chaotic now. As Twist with a damaged front wing. Johan with worn medium tyres falling down the grid. This has gone from what looked like a very good race for our championship leaders to absolute heartbreak here in the late stages of this race. As Barack now for XE Sports, he has to be careful. Johan is trying to battle him as well. He's in an OP sandwich. One is on worn tyres in behind him. One has a damaged front wing in front of him.
So what does now Twist do? Is he going to pit? I mean, he's losing lots of times. He's got one whole left plate out.
Here comes Boyo. A little bit of contact here with Eve as they exit Stavros side by side in towards Blanchimon. Keep it clean, guys, and they do. Meanwhile, up ahead, 2 by 2, it's like Noah's Ark into the bus stop chicane. As we got Barack and Twist side by side, as you got Knuff and Johan side by side, as you got Boyolulu and Eve side by side as well. This has just absolutely kicked off in the midfield, the bottom end of the top 10. It has absolutely got elbows out to the fullest. DRS will be activated now down the back straight. Seed is also in this as well. Henhide is also in this. And ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be an overtake central now down the Kenmore straight as Twist will be overtaken. As Seam gets through on that. Oh my god, is that Enzo and Evo have come together? And that is Enzo out of the race. Safety car, lap 19. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a 1 lap shootout.
Yeah, I think something happened because Sam's front wing is completely off.
Yep, Sam's front wing's off. Trying to look at the Evil, see if he's got wing damage as well. Both of them fell at positions, Evil and Enzo, so I assume maybe a bit of contact between the pair of them and Sim getting caught up in it. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait for the footage in the stewards reports to find out exactly what has happened. Of course, we were not on board, so we can only speculate with what happened. But yeah, absolute heartbreak for Enzo out of this race. TF10 falling down a driver, which is big for Neverlast Racing. Of course, sorry, not Neverlast Racing. Big for what's called the championship battle between the likes of TF10 and of course
TF10 are battling XE Sports, are battling GT10, but obviously
and WOR to extent as well.
Yeah, WOR also.
But this is a big result for CPI as well. This could be enough to get them into that fight as well. As lap 19, no one opted to come into the pits on the top 3. I believe Evil will want to stay out as well. Actually, no, Fraser's in.
Fraser's in. Maybe he has wing damage, or does he?
Well, we'll stay on board with Fraser to see what happens. Of course, this has changed things in this race, because of course now half of the grid will be triggered to come into the pits as well to make sure that they
going
are
for fresh softs.
Yeah, fresh softs here for Fraser, and Enzo has returned from the session. Hopefully we can get a bit of confirmation what happened with Enzo. Fede has stayed out, but of course Fede is being driven by an AI car, so I don't believe the points that Fede will get will be applied to him unless he can actually get himself back into the lobby. But now we have a very interesting dynamic here. Very fresh softs on those in behind the top 7, and very worn tyres on those inside the top 7.
Yeah, but is it worth it pitting for 2 laps? I'm thinking that safety car must be in this lap, so it's only 2 laps of racing.
Well,
It's going to be.
those
It's going
soft
to be
tires.
a,
I'm just going to say it right now. Those soft tires are going to be a good 2 seconds quicker at this stage in the race.
yeah, but I've got a feeling that now drivers are going to go for it. I hope there aren't any incidents, because obviously it's not something we want to see. But up to this point, it was a great race, great battle all over the field. This one is going to finish with a bang.
Absolutely. I mean, finish with a bang. Hopefully not a chaotic bang, which.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's going to finish with a absolute cracking end to this race. Safety car is in this lap. Marlon leads the way. Lap 20 or 22. We'll have 2 laps of racing. No DRS to help any of these guys. All they have is 100% ERS in their deployment. We have fresh soft tyres on everyone outside of the top 7. Fraser is the lead car outside the top 7. Boyo Lulu for GT10 having a big opportunity. So does WR with Henhide. Sieb as well for IRT. Big opportunity for IRT to climb up the order, as well as we are back racing once again. Marlon is going to get us underway, and as we cross the line, the green flag racing will commence once again. 2 laps remaining in this session, and ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to see what will happen. Fraser immediately getting the move done on Eve. Down the inside in towards La Source. Job done for the CPI driver. Fresh soft tyres on the Aston Martin. And Henhide and Boyolulu getting ignoring yellow flag warning. So I'm guessing they overtook Fede before the start-finish straight, and that has cost them 5 seconds here as we got Guillen on Marlon for the race lead. Down in towards Le Combs, and down the inside will go Guillen. Is it going to be job done? Yes, it is. Down the inside it goes the Aston Martin, the CPI driver, into the race lead. Marlon, though, really going to fight back here. Neverlast Racing versus CPI Esports. And this is going to be a battle all the way to the checkered flag.
Yeah, it's worn out soft tires against worn out mediums.
Oh, look at Fraser. Fraser's on the back of Owen as well. 14 lap mediums versus very fresh soft tyres as we enter into Pool. Look at the amount of grip that Fraser just has compared to Johan, but he's unable to get the move done as he really needs to get his way through these guys and get himself to the front of this train if he wants any hope of a double podium here. But look at the grip around the outside now of Stavolo, and look, it's absolutely insane the amount of grip that Fraser has. Boyolulu's also there as well. He's just been overtaken by Henhide, and Johan's going to be a sitting duck to both fresh soft runners in behind him as Henhide and Boyolulu looking to try and get themselves up the order as best as possible. Meanwhile, Fraser closing in on the back of Canuck. Remember, it is CPI versus Neverlast Racing right here for gaining the most points in this race. Of course, Guillen currently leading the race. Marlon currently in second place, and you've got Fraser on the back of Canopia for P5. We're on the final lap of the race. It is CPI Guillen leading the way, but what can Marlon do about it here with his ERS?
Leader now.
Yeah, he's closing in the slipstream. He's going to pull alongside the Aston Martin. He's going to take the race lead, but he's going to cover the inside as Guillen tried to fight back here. And now, as we go through the middle sector, it's going to be all about the run coming out of Stavlo and on the run down in towards the bus stop chicane now. And look at Fraser finding the room down the inside of Burak, and up in the P4 goes the CPI driver. Remember, he is on fresh soft tyres, so he just has the natural grip versus everyone ahead of him. But I think he's run out of time to catch the top 2, but he can definitely get CPI a double podium here, as he is already on the back of Evo, but he's not going to risk anything here, and he'll just wait for his opportunity to get himself up into P3. Canuck and Barak now already been overtaken down towards P5 and 6. Knuff actually losing out there to Henhai, and now the run down in towards the bus stop chicane. I think Ian, unfortunately, too far back.
Overtaking even. He has done it.
Yeah, Fraser up onto the podium. Marlon, though, looks like he has done enough to take victory here in Belgium as we come through the bus stop chicane for the final time. Meanwhile, look at that in the background. Fraser going to be battling with Evil as they come to the line. It's going to be a drag race, and it's going to be Evil taking the podium off of Fraser right at the end. ET8 Evil takes the final podium position away from CPI Fraser. My God, what an end to that race. And the late safety car really did shake things up at the end.
Yeah, obviously we had 3 safety cars, but at the end of the day, it was, from what we saw, it was a really clean and enjoyable race. But what a chaotic race. I mean, I loved it. Not sure. What do you think about it, Mike?
I mean, there will be some reports going in, I can assure you of that. There will be some drivers who feel a little bit aggrieved with a lack of space and a bit of barging and banging of side pods and wheels now with each other. But for the most part, they did keep it clean when it mattered. And of course, a few incidents here and there should not tarnish what has been a very enjoyable race. But of course, it is that man, Marlon for Neverlast Racing, who takes the top step of the podium, and obviously helps Neverlast Racing pull away from ET8 and of course close in on Outplayed Racing in the championship. Let's run you through the order one more time. It is of course Marlon who takes a victory here ahead of CPI Vian in second place, and ET8 Evil completes the podium with Fraser for CPI in P4, Barak for X Esports in P5, with Knuff for NLL in P6, WR Eve in P7 with Johan in P8, and Hyde for WR in 9th, with Twist round out the top 10 with the fastest lap of the race as well. Outside the top 10 we have Boyo Lulu, Kenny, Marcus Costa, Sebe, Seam, Skyzy and Fede at the back, obviously disconnected from the session, and now a non-finisher with of course Enzo and Ryan. And we will revert back to the beautiful graphic where you get to see our lovely faces. But yeah, what an end to that race, and definitely one for the books, and definitely a way to end out racing here in Division 1 for 2023.
Yeah, of course. It was the last race of 2023. We will be back next year. Can we show our lovely spectators the calendar, please, Mike?
Absolutely, and there it is. Of course, we'll be back on the 16th of January for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix as we head to Jeddah on the 16th, and then of course we will be going to Brazil then after that, then the home of British Motorsport to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, then of course to Hungary, then of course to the USA, where I'm not quite sure which USA track are we going for here. Is it going to be Las Vegas? Is it going to be Miami? Is it going to be COTA?
It's the Texas one, COTA.
So we'll be going to the Circuit of the Americas for round number 9. Then, of course, back to Europe for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And then off to Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. Then, of course, to Qatar. And then the season finale ending in Suzuka. And, of course, that is not all. Of course, we do have Division 2 next week as well, which of course I believe Division 2 will be the last race of the calendar year, so make sure you guys tune into all that. Of course, Division 2, it has been a very enjoyable season as well. I believe, of course, in terms of the standings in Division 2, it is of course Team G4 so lead the way by 2 points to CPI Academy, I believe, is racing in Division 2, and of course NLR Development, who are 9 points off the back of CPI, and then of course LRN Esports on 77 points, so very close in Division 2 in the standings there, so definitely one to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, obviously we'll be back next week with the second division. Mike and his co-host will be back with you next year for Saudi Arabia race. But in the meantime, I think we can close off this wonderful show. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to thank every single one of you who have shown love in the chat and have shown support to your favourite team over the course of this race, and of course throughout the racing that we've seen here in 2023. And for myself, Michael Edwards, I will be back in the new year for more Division 1 chat. For more Division 1 action. Of course, we do hope Flynn will be able to join us again. Unfortunately, technical issues have kept him at bay in the past couple of races, but it has been an absolute privilege to share the commentary box with both yourself, VJ, and of course Pyro as well. But with that being said, it's a massive thank you from all of us, and we'll catch you for round number 5 in the new year when we travel to Jeddah. Until then, guys, I've been Michael Edwards, and I'll catch you in the new year. Goodbye.
They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Tell them to point out who said it, they run it. Bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. It's not hard to tell, that shit for the sale.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora, fallo dolcemente, un anno e mezzo, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.